Now I am. All right. So let's take a look at SPY here this morning. And again, this has already retested the structure that it broke out from. It never really broke anything notable, at least on the higher time frames. We didn't see anything crazy. We did see a retest, or excuse me, rather a reclaim of a floor that we were able to grab yesterday. And that's where we're at again. Now, let's talk about the reality, or let's just talk about the potential of downside today. Because with us gapping down and being at the floor and our pre-market high being at 687, obviously you'd be looking for things to likely pop over that top, and a target would be 690. Very simple, higher time frame. But if we lose this, I want to just remind everybody that it took 3 individual bounces for us to get anywhere. So whatever volume you have down here is gone. And the next time we head down here or we lose that floor, I believe we do, in fact, fall. So while this might just be a retest before the break, we do need to keep our eyes peeled today. And we're trying to capture the bigger move, right? One thing about all 3 ETFs is there is no bottom box just set up on a higher time frame. So we have to tread lightly. And that being said, IWM, which is the only one that we can tread on, lightly and still trade. But this one is pulling back after retesting the 50% mark yesterday of the entire range, right? We tested it, and now we're back down. Now, there is no downside until the floor is lost, and that is 258.84. So if you are looking for downside today to the 257 level, you need to lose that. Now, zooming down here a little bit, that same level has a box, and that box has a floor of 258.29, and that's where you could look to take advantage of this empty space, which would ultimately lead you down to that 255.50. So any sort of upside today, which you could consider this open to be kind of trapped. So let it work, right? You want the bigger move? Make sure that one of these higher time frame levels are breaking or have broken. But we need a reclaim of 261.50 and a punch through the 262.22 area to start seeing any sort of new high. Now, one thing that yesterday we were looking at is a potential punch through this box. So it's not like we do not have navigation skills to be able to navigate our way through this setup. The range up above you is pretty loose. Beautiful how that lines up. So this, that, and obviously we could potentially see this empty space up here to 265.22. So everything right now is a read and react setup. Seen a video of yours today posted on Monday about a major pullback in QQQ. Has that happened? Part of it did, yes. I think the following open, we did gap down. We did take profit. I got stopped out of a couple of shorts. And we pop back up and retest. However, my short theory is still technically in play right now, and I'm still looking to potentially trade it if we do not see anything come out of these 3 bounces off the floors. And that's my biggest point here, is that whatever we did to get this floor up, we exhausted ourselves doing it, and we weren't able to accomplish much. So the short theory still remains as long as nothing bullish has been recovered. And I would say that we have not. Now, today's candle is just pure and simple. For everybody who trades my system, it is opening in range. So what do we need to do to make sure that we don't get clapped? Make sure that we're breaking range. Okay, that is period, end of story. What must be done? If you're not able to do that, or you're not able to navigate inside of a range, wait, be patient. Those of you guys who are new. I've always got confused about how TA works on the indexes, because all of the stocks in the index have their own TA chart, or have their own charts and technical analysis. Well, you'll find that a lot of them, or even most of them, coincide, right? You might have a setup on Apple where it has a floor that is potentially gapping down underneath, and you might have a resistance that the Qs gap up to and then dump. But Q's dumping and Apple dumping, right? Apple's going to go and fill that empty space, and Q's are going to go pull back into that gap. So, I mean, like one and the same, right? but the technical analysis still works. I mean, obviously we know this, but having other stocks inside of that ETF can occasionally, right, if one stock in that ETF is ripping, maybe cause for a little bit of turbulence or a little bit of bounces when you hit a major level. But other than that, the analysis still works. It's still a price that you're trying to sell something to somebody to. Um, so it all is the same. But they move together, and oftentimes their setups coincide. So yeah, yeah, exactly. All right. Everybody's talking about TTD. Did I catch it? No, I didn't. That was a great setup, though. Yeah, good setup. Okay, I do hear somebody's mic open. Chris? Trying to see if you can find whose mic is open. Jorge. Jorge. Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, no, TTD was a great setup. I didn't see it yesterday. I was a little busy yesterday, guys. All right, so we'll talk about the ETFs, but obviously you guys have some individual equities you want me to take a look at. Amazon, I know you guys are going to ask, so let's talk about it, right? With the ETFs, right, kind of sitting a little heavy, in need of a bounce, an empty space underneath you, you got to be ready. You got to be ready, right? Now, it's not a mystery, right, as to what we've gone up and hit, right, or the floor that we've tried to secure. And if we can't secure it, what do we need to do? We need to go grab more volume. We talked about this actually last night in class. So if price, right, having gapped down, is unable to punch through this wall and reach up because it has a great second target, right? You've got a great target rate. Looks like right around 222. In order for you to accomplish that, right, you're going to need to hang on to 214.75, 214.88. Yeah, 214.75 right here. So that is your pre-market low. Anything dropping, you have a 212.82, which is also your wicks. Anything below that, and you're back to structure. So prepare, right? Because this is where a lot of people who might even be in profit, again, if you have the right expiration, do you? But if you lose this floor, right, it could be better to take it off of a bounce or punchback, right? Because you do have a box. If you have the expiration, then you're good, but don't trade money for my health. I definitely don't. Pretty healthy, actually. All right, let's see here. Yeah, go ahead and drop your request, and we'll see what we can find here. All right, so UNH, which, man, talk about, I mean, keep your eyes peeled on this one because obviously, with any sort of break to the upside, you are building in this area versus falling, which you have done, obviously, here. Um, and so, at a moment's notice, right, this one could definitely send it with the first target being this red wick here at 302, 65. 4 hour time frame, you're going to need to break 295. Right? You got great structure, but you need a great break. You look like you haven't slept in days. That's why. The eye bags. This is just how I look, dude. Just literally how I look. Just my face, man. I've looked like this since middle school. Oh, yeah. All right. What else do we have here? Irene, possible punchback if it closes at the 42. Yeah, I could see that. On the 24-hour. You look different with no glasses and longer hair. Yeah. Yeah. Am I reading the TikTok comments? No. Yes, I am. Sure. Yeah, I could see this one working out. Obviously, over 43, he had a little build right there and not previous resistances. But yeah, if you can break that median, you should be at least on your way to 47.25, and then that would be the third time. So you'd be looking at 50. That's not a bad setup. I think just setting an alert right here would probably be your best bet. ANF. No, I haven't done this one. I suspect this one's likely to break range here in the next couple of days. Coming off of earnings, got a lot of tension. I would actually keep your eyes peeled on it today below 90 or outside of 101. Potter said one time, that's how the Lord layeth thy skin upon thy face. Yeah. Yep. Good. Gian, were you with Don Fron before? Who the fuck is Don Fron? I've never been with anybody, so yes, I have a Discord group, but I don't want you to join if you're brand new. If you're brand new, watch my YouTube channel for free. Watch this channel for free, and then make a decision, please. I had to make the Discord a damn application process where you got to apply to join. Do you want to be an independent trader? Nope. Okay. We get people who sign up and they just want signals and then they don't read anything. They didn't hear what I said and then they join the Discord and then they're like, where are the signals? And I'm like, here's your refund. Yeah, yeah. How old are you now, Valdemir? That's great. Yeah, that's great. Amazon has a great setup for that empty space up to 237. Yeah, it sure has. All right. UNH again? I mean, it's very clear, right? Very straightforward setup. That's a cute cat. All right, so simply put, guys, this listen, do not overcomplicate this setup. It's 295.12, right? If you can find yourself falling down here to the floor and then you bounce yourself. I mean, there's actually a downside play on this one as well. Below 283.87, you got empty space and a gap. So if you fail up here, that's the deal, right? If you're able to break 295, the target is 302.75. Okay? Lower time frame, match that out, right? Looks like 294.40 could be an area to set a stop loss. If you break that, y'all should really do long-term investment. It's better and lower risk. Since you've come in here, Valdemir, you have just assumed everything. You said don't trade time for money because of my face. My face has always looked like this. And you said I need to do long-term investments. And I also do that. So what else are you going to assume and be wrong on? Damn. Thank God you're not getting a percentage return off of your assumptions, because you'd lose all your money. I love a good long-term investment, baby, and I use my strategy to do it. All right. Why do people think it's okay to comment on the way people look? Because they're hiding in their phone. I mean, I do shit. I do it too. What are you talking about? I deserve it just as much as everybody else. I make fun of people trading by their beds and trying to sell people subscriptions to things. I make fun of Shinobi Signal's cheeks. I make fun of fucking Jay Diamond's shiny bald head. So why don't I deserve it? If I can dish it, right? I can dish it. I can also take it though, because I've been looking like this since I was a kid. You guys see that dude in Brazil who's like thinks he looks 17 years old? That shit's fucking hilarious. All right, Credo. Let's see here, 24-hour time frame. That's cheeky. It's cheeky, baby. You need 11550, although this is a little bit of a hot dog water setup because you're immediately faced with one resistance after another. The obvious answer here is above 115. Now, at this point, I'd probably be looking at the 4 hour, or yeah, I'd be looking at the 4 hour, probably focus on these boxes in individual. You got 2 points of contact, 2 points of contact. So I'd be aiming for 119.75. So, all right. Hood updates for longs. I'm not jugs minting. It's just concerning. LOL. And no, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking. What? Okay. All right. So Hood filled up all of its empty space. Hood has now stopped. So Hood needs to do what, class? Those of you guys in Hood or trading Hood, what does Hood need to do? Let me know. I want to see what you guys think. What does Hood need to do in order to continue moving to the upside? Especially you new students, right? Those of you guys in class right now. What are we missing, right? Is this a normal reaction off of filling empty space? You're damn right. Is it falling fast away from it so that it can possibly bounce and retest? Also, yes. Potentially, right? If you fall fast and you break something, then that changes. But the empty space is filled, which is why you're reacting the way that you are. But in order for you to see continuation to the upside, folks, you got to get the floor. Whatever stopped you is probably what what you need to reclaim. So either build here, like so, and then shoot up in, right? Or actually, I really think you need to build. So I you could see, let's see, lower time frame. I love my job. I love being able to explain shit and not make it up or be worried that like, look at it. You got a box right at resistance. Use the 3 minute, 5 minute. And as small and stupid as that might seem, every single one of these boxes is real, and so is that floor, and that's 85 flat. Now that'll get you started. So if you decide you want to risk it on that, but securing the floor is 85.50. Okay. So in order to see continuation, we need to grab hold of something. Now, if you traded Hood, that was the whole plan, right? To trade that pocket of empty space and then obviously see how we react. So now it's just as simple as trying to get a candle close up against that $86 mark here today on the 24-hour. So what do I mean by securing the floor? I mean that if you see an area that buyers have secured or buyers hold, sellers are going to try to keep you from that, right? See the bottom of that box? In order for us to secure a floor, right, we need to secure a price, or we need price acceptance, which means the candle closes above a floor that sellers, or yeah, sellers tried to keep you from, if you want to look at it that way. So in order to see continuation, you have to build or grab like a rock climber, right? You got to grab that floor and pull yourself up. Now, the 50% mark of this range would be where you'd really look for things to start moving. Yeah, what's up? What does this box? What does this box tell you? What is it? What is this? If I break the 50% mark, what do I get? Higher. So Yeah, I mean, you could. I think that there's different ways to go about this, right? Some traders with who are buying 2 or 3 weeks out would, when the candle secures itself on the floor, they'll use that as a stop loss, right? There's also traders who could utilize cost basis, right? In this case, um, as a, or even just that 87.23, because that, again, if that candle is closing or getting close to closing through that 50% mark, you can take it there. So if you wait, right, all the way until 88, your price target is less. So I mean, it's not that it's you can use this box, right? Or you can even, I mean, again, there's if there is a problem, there's a way to solve it, right? And in my case, I could solve this down here. I could give you guys, and this is what I'm trying to get hand off to you guys when you do top down analysis. If I have a range here and we're bouncing at the 50% mark where I see points of contact, and this is what you fell under, where could I take a trade? Anybody know? Where could I take a trade off of this one to the upside? Bounce out? No. Yes, but no. We would need to pop out, unless that you're calling the top here the floor, 83.82. Why? I can set a stop loss on that top, right? Because once you retest, which is again going back to something that we have done now in the last couple of weeks, right? Look, it's the same concept, just different this time, right? You drop down into the top of a box, right? Just like that. So if I want to take this long, what do I need? A candle close outside of where sellers are controlling the price. That's what I need. And so if you're looking for continuation to the upside, right? And we're looking at this 30-minute, what do we need to do? We need to get outside of what is holding you down. And you could set a stop loss there. Now, do you have confirmation for continuation? Not necessarily. You don't really have a box up above you, so it should be relatively easy, but you could take it there. So the ceiling of a box is resistance as soon as you fall into it. So you could use resistance as a stop loss for that early entry. Now, what do you do to adjust? You grab a longer expiration. You don't grab a weekly, you grab 2-3 weeks out. You can add to that trade once you get confirmation with shorter expiration contracts, but does everybody go ahead? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Literally. You could, I mean, shit, you could take an entry before the actual box above you gets anywhere. Look. Yeah. Hold on a second. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, you could use this. You could the floor is a little bit sketchier. And I like a good candle close on the floor for an entry. But if you're fighting for that floor, I don't want people to get trapped trying to take an entry. So it's obviously always it can be an advantage to wait for confirmation, which would be 610.50 or a candle close through that, where then you would have a higher probability of punching through the box above you. Trade station. Okay. Nah. Ask me now. So where are we getting the expected from, right? Nothing is expected of you, and I don't expect you. You got to do whatever fits your. So if you don't like to add, right? Well, I think what I'm like, can you is more of the question. And yes, you can. If you have structure and you're breaking it and you're getting confirmation that your price is going to go higher, you can use those lower time frame signals to get into a higher time frame trade before it confirms, but it just gives you an edge as far as you're getting in early, right? But you're using something structural to do that. I think we'll go ahead and try to finish answering this question after. But what I don't want you to do, and what I think you are going to do, or what you are doing, is overcomplicating a lot of things. Where I think that your entries, right, we got to work on our entries, and expiration, because like obviously there's been a couple of trades that you've taken like Lily that haven't gotten the break of the floor, so you're just stuck bouncing in between the two, and that's where you're going to decay. That's where the cost of your contract is going to decay. But when we have something, even like Amazon, um it's something like, where you can use these lower time frame structure, these triggers, and you can place your trade off of those. And yeah, you could choose depending on what your expectation is. But we'll answer that. We'll dig in a little more in class. So no, guys, Turk Diggler, I think he's one of those dudes that got pissed off because of my political comments on my other account. I could give a shit less though. So yeah. Buster, we're gonna actually go through that today. Um, yeah, we're gonna go through that today. Yeah, yeah. Listen, I might have some warrants in Florida. I didn't pay the tolls down there. Didn't pay them. Yeah, there's one that I saw this morning that's a court ordered. As the economy gets worse and jobs are decimated, you're gonna see more and more of this. Oh, it's gonna get worse. Like, you guys got to be careful. Obviously about especially in this space, you got to be careful. Interesting. Yeah. All right. Well, anything else? So what do we have here? Not necessarily playing this, as I don't know anything about the stock, but it looks too slow mover. I thought it looks like it's setting up. So already those things right there, sucker, those would be things that would immediately keep me away from that, right? Does this move, like, this is, and I'm glad that you actually went back. So I'm proud of you for doing that. But acknowledging how this stock moves, right, is important. Now it does look like it does get to moving, but I guess the real question here is, where's the setup? Because that's a little bit more difficult to spot. That being said, yes, this could be. I mean, it has uniformity. It has a 172.25 cost basis. So, again, market mechanics work on shit that looks like this too. So a candle outside of 175.50, and I would ignore that 179 and just be focused on that empty space up above, which it does seem like it fills for the most part. Yeah, it does fill up its empty space. So not my favorite. I wouldn't trade that, but could I do McDonald's? I hope McDonald's fucking dies, dude. I hope we give that up as a country. I mean, it's kind of impossible. They're like a fucking leech. It'd be McDonald's real estate company if you got away with stopping their business. Everybody's been watching that video of that CEO dude. That shit was funny. I couldn't help it. That dude trying to pretend like he loved his burgers. Take a tiny McBite. Uh, I would say you're in limbo right now. You're sitting on a trigger that could potentially drive price lower, giving you a 322.71 Yeah, his product is crazy. Um, what were they thinking with that? They're trying to humanize fucking lizards. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make you feel like, oh, yeah, you did too. He probably had them make it Five Guys style, like a real beef patty and shit, but yeah, anyway. 34, 40, 31, however, is where price is likely to go back up and reach that previous high. So I would say you're in a read and react scenario. However, the 24-hour looks like shit, and I would never trade this. So yeah, I saw Wendy's CEO. He's biting into their bird. I mean, every single time they get the public's attention, right? Even if it's negative, those motherfuckers are gonna turn it into a positive. That's why, like, I've deleted. I think last year on my old page, I deleted Slim Jim's comment. I delete all corporate comments. Like, you're not gonna use my page as an advertising space. Period. Unless you pay me, and even if you are, I'm probably not. I actually like Slim Jim's page too. So, but IWM, is it breaking? Not quite. Really, the big level of concern here today, folks, is going to be 258.50. 258.50 candle close, and yeah, we could see a nice juicy little dumper. All right. Anything else? Let's see here. Vive, even after the fade from pre-market highs. What happened, guys? God, I love this system. I will be trading this shit until I'm an old ass man, dude. Look at that. Garrett, do you not trade some stocks on their politics? If they're sucking up to the government, I take that into consideration, but not into price. The chart will show me that. The deeper they are up politicians' ass to get things done that they want to get done, because that's what our country is. Our country is a bunch of like personal things. Yeah, there's some things I don't fuck with. I don't I would never buy. Yeah, I mean, I make money, but I would never buy a stock in Geo. You know what I mean? I'm not going to buy a stock in private. I used to own equity in Palantir. I sold it because I made a lot of money on it, a lot of money on it. But yeah, I try to avoid leaving my money in as an investment on those things. But at the end of the day, they're going to do what they're going to do, regardless of my. Geo is the stock for public prisons. Yeah, private prisons. Sorry, not. Listen, these are the roughest prisons. They're fucked. And how, right? This is, for a lot of people, how are we making money, right? How is a company making money off of prisoners? The federal government, right? And those motherfuckers, listen, I obviously being a part of the system, they will feed you slop, because when they feed you slop, they don't have to pay as much and they get to keep the runoff. So it's like, dude, and not just that. I mean, like this incentivizes, right? Think about if you're the owner of Geo, right? You're gonna want laws in place. You're gonna push for certain things, not because you want justice, but because you need more people. Anyway, that's all. That's awesome. Fuck this. That's crazy, dude. I was homeless, you know what I mean? And I got help. It's literally in that song, like that song that everybody loves so much, that walking song. He's like, the opportunities aren't here, so my homies resort to scams and robbing. And like, dude, yes, I've watched people that I know, like with, they had construction skills, or I even know somebody who worked in an office. And the last time I heard about him, he was fucking going to jail for the COVID scams for him stealing money from the government. Anyway, all right, let's focus on this. Yeah, what's up? We'll take a look at that in just a moment. Flute up. So I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, man. This is one of those setups that's more confusing than it is anything else. You're not bouncing there, right? But it does seem like you're bouncing here. So I mean, the long and short of this, right, is on the weekly. I can see this overhead, and that is 120. It looks like 124. Let's look at the 24 hour. So when you're dealing with this much empty space, right, it gets tough, and usually you need a long period of consolidation. However, this is not a box. This is a range, right? Okay, so now on the 2 hour, we do have boxes and retests. So, I mean, dude, you're going to have to problem solve your way out of this one or into this one. 115 needs to be reclaimed. You have empty space up to 120, and then a trigger for continuation would be 124.72. However, if you fill this empty space up, it's going to set you up perfectly to start building with empty space above and below. So, yeah. Mhm. Okay, so let's look at the cues really quick. It's 921. So, what I consider what to be a floor 606? Is that what you said? It's going to be you're going to have a floor right where you're at 606.70 and 605.88 would be two areas on the 30 minute here. Yeah, 605.78. That would be one of the higher probabilities, probable areas. Yes. Well, I think what's really concerning me here today is the fact that we sunk back underneath. I mean, that right there could put a fucking pin in it. You know what I mean? Like and the issue is we have lots of volume underneath us, right? So I don't see us breaking as easy unless we, are feeding off of a catalyst. So um, I'm in read and react observation mode here this morning because in the reality, folks, we're opening up in range. And when is it the hardest time to trade? These days, when you're opening up in range. So what I'd like to see today is when we meet these areas of consolidation, or we meet these areas of boxes and ranges, that they are not responded to, right? So if we fall down here, I want to see an immediate pop right back up. And then at that point, well, honestly, you don't actually want to pop right back up. Unless that butters through this, you would probably want to bounce, build, pop, retest, and then go for your break. So that way you can tell something's building well when it doesn't leave any empty space behind. It doesn't lose anything, but it doesn't leave any empty space to mine. So today does not, again, seem like, yeah, wow. That's even right there. So look at this same level, 604.42. So like there are levels that we definitely have to lose if you're looking to be bearish today. But whatever happens in here, in that range, might be a mess. So tread lightly here. Check this out. Look, see how you pop up? Every single time you pop up, for the most part, you're retesting the areas that you pop up. You're shutting the door. Look, empty space, pop back up, build, continue moving up. But because we have this empty space underneath us now, this is where price can fall. So had uh, Qs popped up, retested, popped up, built, and then popped up and built, right? That would make falling harder. When you listen, so think about it like with we're climbing a mountain again. Imagine you have a Sherpa who's carrying a fuck ton of supplies, and like every or every 50 paces, you're dropping a pack. So that way, if shit goes wrong above you and you slide down, you've got supplies, you've got volume. But if you shoot straight up that fucking mountain and you leave no base camps behind you, no, it's that much easier to fall. Does that make sense? Right. Yes. So we'll see what we get today. IWM seems to be falling a little bit more, and I got a little bit of something something on IWM. I expect this level of 258. That's where we could see a gnarly bounce. Same area, actually. Oh man, they're gonna do that right at the bell. They're gonna do it at the bell. I took my homie's account and I put it into IWM last night. We'll see. He might. More downside than upside because my upside orders didn't get filled, and I told him that. But I sent him a an emoji of me shrugging my shoulders. I was like, oh well. I said, if we make you any money, dude, you got to learn this shit. ALK. I see what you want to do to that. Okay. Now you're falling pretty quickly. Here, listen. That's a flat bounce. You've got a flat floor right here. You're about to touch this here today. But these two levels are the only things separating you from that next leg down. So not a bad setup. You're falling pretty quickly to that floor. If you do bounce, I would watch back up above you at 48 to retest. Didn't I lose it all in that earnings play? Which one? Lily? Or ANF? Hell yeah, it did. That shit's gone, dude. Although I still have all the contracts, so if we did get a lucky break, the tension's high on this one. I got alert set. I'm planning on taking this one. I've got alert set in places where I'll bring this one down, I think, right here. But yeah, I'm ready to take this one. Right. Did I miss anything here? Miss anything here? All right, listen, I hope everybody is careful today. All right, we are opening up in range. Yes, we did lose something overnight, especially on things like IWM. But continuation to the downside is a couple steps away. Same deal with the Qs, right? Lots of structure in between us and the bigger move. So if you're here trying to maximize your dollar, right, you need to make sure that you're a part of that bigger move. Okay. Um, Obviously, opening up underneath resistance gives sellers the ball. So I do expect for price to fall at first. But again, you need to decide where you belong. Because if you don't belong in these small spaces, wait for the big ones to start moving. So, eh, Apple. Yeah, I did. That's from last night in class. Remember that? 259.70 or 259.25 below you, and then you have that empty space down there. So it looks like sellers, remember we talked about this last night? Sellers are doing what they are supposed to do. They're driving price lower, and they're hopefully going to be able to open this price below the floor to drive it straight down into that 259.25. Is the look at, yeah, that alert is, you only talk about options, brother? I primarily focus on options, but there's a lot of people in here doing a lot of different things. A lot of people trading options, a lot of people trading stock, futures. My system works, period. Period. Ooh, SoFi. Brother, that is exhaustion at its finest. You popped hard, hit your box, popped hard, hit your cost basis. God, I love my system. To wake up every morning and not be full of shit. It's a beautiful thing. Um, I could see a play down here from 1850 to drop into that 1823. You know, if you're looking at the bigger move, you're going to need some expiration behind that. I could definitely see this sort of exhaustion, though. If you start losing levels, you definitely got more empty space under there. But you're going to need to see something actually lost here. So, all right. Feel free to ask me any questions. Probably not going to be going too crazy here. I got positions that I'm already I'm going to try to take profit on here. Do I see any good scalps? Oh yeah, trust me, I'll let you know. Anything below this 258.75 is liable to drop down to 257.67 right here. And then again, nothing has broken yet, so I don't know about that. The gap fill is going to be a pop real quick, folks. If you're watching scalpers, if you're watching right here, look at this green candle to my left. If you can pop and hold that outside of 259.25, it should make a trip scalp back up to that 260 a little bit easier. So Amazon giving you that pop outside. Listen, that cannot fail. That cannot fail. You need to go and drive up and hit that next price target. And at that point, yeah, I'd be trimming for sure. You got 218.65. They like to do this. This is how they fake people out. If they will, they'll shoot it up out of a box like that, and then they'll pull it back in. You need to hold that top right here. You can see it's already hesitating. Wow, pre-market looks like hot dog water, man. All right, here it is. That is what we must escape, folks. This is what we must hold in order to start that escape. This is what we must break in order to get to 615. So watch this retest. If it fails, if it's too fast, right, and doesn't grab anything, if it doesn't punch through this box that we already talked about here this morning, So if you don't have enough volume here, you'll touch back down here. People are going to get whacked in here, I can tell you that much. Confirmation, confirmation. Don't react emotionally to candles, guys. Big candles are meant to make you feel things. Pause. But we need to secure something. Step one, good. Step two, about to find out. IWM has not broke that level that I gave down. It has not broken. It bounced off of 258.50, right on the money. Yes, but breaking something and closing, right? You got to close. Even now on the cues, you must close this floor in order to get this cost basis. So any long stops, right? 608, 609, excuse me. All right. IWM bouncing back up. Looking for that 260, 34. All right. You see price trying to grab. That's what it looks like. See that? Trying to grab. That's what it looks like when you're trying to get your fingers on the edge. Push off of it. And now cost basis. This should be right here. Austin, good job, man. Good job. Okay, so we're starting to see it retreat back off of that median. So again, this is a game of push and pull. If you get your fingers on the edge, right? It's like Mufasa, right? I'm about to peel your fingers off if I want you to fall. Sorry, I know that was. I still haven't gotten over that one either. I just don't think I've really processed Mufasa's death. I mean, yeah, I kind of expected it to be dog shit. They're just redoing old films that, that's lack of creativity. You think QQQ is shorting after? No. Yeah. Oh, dude, you know what drove me fucking? Where did I see it this morning? I think it was Meta, or maybe it was you. I don't know what it was, but dude, they're giving you the ability to tell AI what music you want. Like some dude had a song where it was telling him to clean his room. And it was like the kind of style of music that he wanted. And I was listening to it and I was like, dude, what the fuck? This shit is getting weird, man. Like, and it's crazy because, like, dude, I think, humanity is pretty happy with, like, just being able to, like, create, basic shit or websites or answer questions. It's like Ask Jeeves on crack. But in reality, right, it's, I mean, taking over, sectors of jobs and creatives and I mean, there's already bands that are AI that have like hundreds of thousands of followers. Like that's fucking crazy. Yeah, like a song for you to clean your room that's singing to you about cleaning your room is bizarre. So this is going to be that mark right here. Bop. Once we're above that, it'll be a lot easier to get this mother moving. Still fighting with cost basis though. That's why I have these things up. I know where it's going to be difficult. I don't place myself in those areas. I wait for the difficult to be over. I wait for them to fight. This is the only time I'll watch a fight and record. No, I don't watch UFC. Yeah, trust me, he's tried to get me into it. Yo, this dude's name is Doja Rat. Sorry. And his profile's a little rat. Yes, dude. Oh my god. Also, that's uncalled for. Song. This is Robert Glasper live. I feel like the day doesn't get started until. Damn. This sounds like a trombone. There's another place. I can't remember where it's from. We have a restaurant here that has something similar. It's Optomatic. Nice. Oh shit, dude. Fuck yeah. Damn. So basically, I'm going with you guys, right? Third wheel, third, third wheeling, dude. Listen, Jorge, you got this, right? Yes, right? You know I'm gonna say yes. This is fire. It's a good setup. It needs cooperation, right, from the market overhead. Uh, Big strong pop straight up to resistance. So we need to get that candle over $200.50. But it looks good. Da, 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 da. How we doing, Amazon folks? Amazon. If you're in Amazon, you are nearing 220.40 and 221. Good job, guys. Keep on walking. Ain't no stopping. So they resort to scams and robbing. Yeah, Amazon is. Look how much trouble we fucking avoid. I love doing this. It's like, dude, we don't have to fucking get involved in all this hot dog water. IWM bounced and failed. So keep an eye on that one. It is below 258. That basically your low of day right now is where we can see a drop. I would be looking at that 257. Sentence for repentance. I just gotta keep walking. Apple lows. Uh-oh. 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 Seeing individual equities dump. God, look at the system, baby. You cannot secure shit. Biggies popping. So they resort to scams and robbing. Look at that, baby. No, we don't. Cost basis tells me continuation is coming. So when you're fighting for cost basis, I'm not necessarily trying to front run that shit. You know, there's oftentimes like setups that are. I know you're breaking. I know we're going. Like you're not. You know, you retested a 24-hour level and you got a 5-minute box on a floor with empty space above you. We're going. But we got volume stacked up above us. So my plan is always to. Jesus, Apple. Didn't we just say last night that Apple's going to move today? We said that in class last night. We said we're going to come back and we're going to watch and we're going to see that Apple has moved. Beautiful, right? So just knowing when something is going to move puts you ahead of fucking so many people in this market. Having or knowing where where you don't want to be a part of price action. Ugh, ugh. Can't really listen to this song. I get banned. Yeah, you got it, rotisserie chicken. Dude, my kids love rotisserie chickens, dude. I'd be trying to find these. What's up? 250s what? No. Nah. I mean, if you're risking it for the biscuit, dude, that's a biscuit worth risking, but let me see. Let me see. Well, you're hitting a floor now and bouncing. So, yeah, look. It's harder. Like Sean Carter. I mean, this is just picture perfect though. But yeah, we got to lose the floor, right? And then yes, you could potentially if we lose this, yeah, you could give a fuck. You know I'm hailing from that rip city. Get busy. Uh, no. This, yeah, I mean, you do have this floor here that you need to lose, but you also have these wicks down here as well that I think are equally important. So 258.84, and then look up above you. That needs to hold down. So, all right, you're exhausting more volume. You better get up there. Check out my Amazon trade on the gains page. Ugh. Damn. Yeah, I know. I'm already in it, brother. I swung. I didn't swing a lot. I had like 450 bucks in that. Yeah? Yeah, it's got to break that low or anything back up outside of that 259, it's over with. I'm watching it. It's moving fast, right? So where do I got to go? And unfortunately, all I have are these higher time frame levels that we broke. Damn, you are not leaving anything behind, so you better keep it pushing. I mean, at worst, maybe that I mean, as far as I can tell, you got everything that you need to have recovered. You still haven't hit that 221 target. Definitely close, but um, I mean, based on what I'm seeing now, the only motherfucker. Let's see here. 40. Yeah, I would be watching right now, actually, as we speak, because your continuation lies through this range, and you're tapping the 50% mark now. Obviously, losing this and losing that 219, and you're going to see 218, which is in line with that retest we were just looking at over to our left. So, I mean, based again, when I look at continuation to the upside, it's what you're grabbing hold off, and when you're not necessarily grab. Ooh, I did not see this. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah. So you have the 50% mark right now where you're at. You can bounce here, which, eh. And then here at 218.29. Now you do want to fall fast. You want to dump real quick. Keep going faster. Come down here and curl it right back up. Long Beach up. Hey, what's up, dude? Yeah, you did. There's no telling. There's no telling, dude. Trying to eat like morbidly obese. Me shit for free. Damn. Damn. Boing. 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 I said boing. I have to be. I'm gonna be honest. Not responding to that top. That's it. That's literally it, man. It's in line with higher time frames, right? That 218 that I just talked about on the 24-hour, same thing. But now I'm just looking at it on a lower time frame so I can see how price is reacting to that floor. It looks like it might want to get that center mass here. IWM second bounce here. Watch over 259.91, and you're going to go touch that 260. I'm watching the cues right now, but I'm waiting for confirmation here. Boing? No. My first green Thursday in over a month. Keep it going, milk can. Milk can. You guys got the fucking weirdest names, dude. I don't know what to do. I'm not even looking at it. I don't know. A couple jet fighters have gotten knocked out of the sky. I thought it'd be good for business. All right, so back over 218.34, you'll see green, right? But we need to see if you got enough to pop that. Like that. Ugh. And that is how you keep yourself safe. He said milk can. It's Mike. Sorry. Oh, I just saw that. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I looked at it. Is your name Israel? Or are you from Israel? Don't call me no more. Don't, baby. Patience, patience. That's what I'm playing right now. Doing. Come on. Come on up here. You guys watching this, new people? You see how I'm down here building a plan, right? Reading and reacting. And that's how I circumvent the emotions that come from candlesticks. Instead of me just focusing, oh God, red candle. Look at that. Bottom of the green candle on the money. Cost basis on the money. Breaking back over the top of something on the money. Now, what happens from here is a different story, but I think I like milk can better, so. Potter, just you teaching me how to narrate your trades around price action has helped me so much, dude. Thank you. I'm sure I'll learn a ton more. It rids me of so much anxiety. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm doing this for. It's for me too. When I do this, it's that's my stress ball. It's like I'm going straight to problem solving. I do the same thing in real life. It drives my nuts wife. Or my it drives my nuts wife. It drives my wife nuts. Sure. All right, keep watching that, guys. Jesus Christ, what do you want to do? You just here to brag? Good Lord, have mercy. So you got a wick right here, and you got a body 124. Looking good. Looking real good. Are you taking 130s? I'm a. What now? Is it that big green candle that's making you think about it? Be honest with yourself. Okay, and where would you set your stop loss? Just putting you in the hot seat. If you were to set a stop loss, I'll answer this. It would be down at the floor at 116, which is far as fuck away, right? Or you would have to rely on the center mass of that range, which is at 118, which is still pretty far away. Or you're waiting to see how price responds at 121. And while this is fire, right? I'm gonna keep this up. I do not take trades that are ripping like this. I don't. I can't because what it does is it eliminates your ability to grab cheaper contracts. Everybody in the world, everybody who's trading right now probably sees ServiceNow. And so those contracts are probably through the roof, I would assume. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If you pulled back right now to 118, you could probably catch a sweet bounce on that thing. So yeah, so one thing that I would do in that situation is try to go find one that hasn't moved. Straight up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think I saw that one this morning. Yeah, Jorge was looking at that one. And that one's just breaking, right? So like I mean you'd have a better chance at that one. Right. And Jorge actually talked about it. But damn. Guess the True, true, yeah. We see that in the price action, but yeah, you want to make sure you got a good one. Is anybody real quick? Hold on, timeout. If you guys took that on the cues, stop loss is at 611, 611.36, and right now we're looking for a break back over the 612.71s. Moved away. I needed trying to buy the trees at Ivy League. You guys seeing this on Amazon, man? I love this shit. Pull back, retest the same area you fell into, and curl back up. And this gives you the opportunity to decide what you want to do with your trade. Good stuff. Yeah, I haven't even looked. I'm on the still on the 45 seconds, so let's see what. Good, good. Neighbors think of selling dope. Right here, and right here. All right, get to work. Get to work right now. How do I tell if contracts are expensive? I see how much they're up for that day. Good push on the cues here. 5-minute box is approaching. If you're looking at my screen on YouTube. Listen, it doesn't matter until we break that god darn floor at 89.95. Trust me. I'd like to be able to make something off of that one. There you go, cues. There you go, cues. Touch that 612.50 right here. IWM, nothing. Nothing yet. However, it does have a really solid punchback that it's approaching. Oh, dude, Q's have the chance. I mean, Q's today, we got 614 on the way, and then we got 615.75, which is the end of the empty space over here to our left. Let me show. So recap got. It is quad witching? You sure? Oh, I thought you meant this week. I was like, there. Real quick, if you guys saw that on the cues, right? Refuse, 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 pull back, retest, close the candle in the box. That's your signal, right? That's your signal. That lets you know that you've broken everything in there, and you're gonna go shooby wop. You gotta go get a new high. Jesus. And now we just hit that 612. Ah, Buenos dias. Good call on the IWM bounce. I want the big breaks, man. I need my big break. I want to go to Hollywood. Don't get lost in heaven, dude. No, Hollywood is bad. Yeah, I know. I'm just joking. If I was an actor, I'd be getting no jobs based on the things that I say currently. I get dropped by my agency. In another universe, that's probably happening right now. Annie's my agent. No, they would have to clone you. Yeah. Yeah. Oh shit, it's coming up right now. I need a fun track that goes something. Yeah, Google is that's insane. The Lyra 3 makes custom music for you. That's insane. Damn. My grandma asked me why I have so many girlfriends. What should I do with my XRP? Don't ask me. I'm just kidding. Uh, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you something bad. What should you do with your XRP? Well, you're in danger. You're building up just fine. However, that empty space underneath you, it's gonna happen. XRP's gonna dump there. It yeah, yeah. That's crazy though. You hit your imbalance right on the money. That's pretty fire. So, real quick, zooming out to the 24-hour time frame, what are we trying to do? We're trying to break that previous day's high so we can get where? To the first red candle right here, or that first candle overhead, resistance overhead at 617, 615. So, that's what you're seeing the market attempting to do here. Yep. IWM, it's mechanical, but boy, is that mother in range. Doja Rat? Dude, this is killing me. This dude's name is Doja Rat. Yeah. Well, God dog it. Back to the 45-second we go. And look. Wide fluctuation in price creates what? A channel. Right in a while. Yo, look at Meta. Wow. Wow. What are they about to say? What are they about to do? That's a good setup if you can break this has not happened. I actually just saw somebody talking about shorting this one, but um yeah, if eventually obviously if you get over that 677, which we're still far away from, but boy, that would open up a delicious trade to 703. And let Zuckerberg put me in a pretzel. I loved it. Jiu-jitsu master. Just sorry. That's a double entendre right there, baby. You got that. Do you? What do you wonder about? Man, he's been concerned for me, dude, for years. Some men swim in the waters that other men lose their mind in. I'm just kidding. Yeah, except no mercury, just Tylenol and birth defects. I'm just kidding. No, they're not. They're not bad. And I mean, if you take it if you take it now, and man, I tell you what, it's like these setups kind of get me curious on a news candle, but you got a floor here. I mean, you could be yeah, fuck it. I mean, like, look, you got a floor right here. You got a retest. You have this box or range, excuse me, that you need to punch through. Damn, look at that. Oh, his little cup, his whittle cup. Yeah, you got a nice bounce. I gave Zuckerberg all of the money. I said, watch this, Zuckerberg. Nobody does it like me. I mean, do with that what you want, but the first Terminator music was about an AI driven robot from 2029. Is Trump getting ahead of the game? Dude, we write the movies and then we do the dumb shit. Like, I swear to God, we'll write a movie about like something that's like terrifying. Next thing, dude, we're gonna like start inviting aliens with fucking long arms and ball heads. War of the Worlds. Robots. Yeah. It is, dude. It's almost as if we, yeah, predictive program. But I don't even know if it's so much predictions as is like we just lay out the pathwork for conscience or conscious to walk down. I mean, it's like collective conscious. We're all just like, oh yeah, we that's what's happening, I guess. But of course, a lot of these ideas are spawned from things that are being created. I'm sure, like, yeah, AI was something that even older generations were predicting. So, can I look at OKLO for you? Show. No, not right now. What are you looking to do to this bad boy? It looks like it's got a target down below at 57.42. It's coming out of a nice box of consolidation. It looks a little bit like that. So you're going to need a loss of 59.89 or something down here tipping you off that's likely going to occur. I'd say 61.83 get that started. I want to short Amazon. Why do you want to do that? I mean, not yeah. Why? Like when you short Amazon, and I'm again just we're always looking for confirmation. A short from Amazon would start obviously by dropping back underneath 217.50 and then 216.75. Not discouraging you. Hopefully it works out if you're already in. But now you know what you need to lose, and boy, you are not losing it. Not yet, anyway. QQQ hasn't failed, but it is, yes, getting to that point where we're likely going to fail if we. I mean, nothing has been lost, just in limbo right now. I mean, the Russell right here, or the rut, looks like it's with this candle pushing off of the previous 24-hour candle here and being close to the floor. It does very much look like we could be looking at future downside on this one. I mean, with that bounce recovery and then nothing happening, I mean, yeah, IWM is getting heavier, and this is obviously just IWM, but it's getting heavier and heavier. First green candle to my left. Oh, what's that? The first target. Hot damn. Always. I have shorts on IWM, uh, but I also have longs right now on the Qs. My stop loss is 609, but probably underneath 610.50, I'll probably bail.
$7,000 on futures, and then I made over one cent.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm looking at you. Give us the earnings, Dumpy. Do it now. Yeah. Look at me. Put a girl on. Bro, did you see where he called a Oh, dude. It almost I almost wanted to do it. Dude, those people at Taco I need to do that. He needs to do that to like Wall Street. I'm a con That one person quit their job on the spot. They said, "I'm going after it." I'm adding to the ones that I already have. Yes. For next week? Yeah. I don't know about this week's, but why does this song keep coming on? It's a good song, but I just can't listen to it right now. Yeah, but that song will get me banned. Check. Look like a freeze. Dude, you're a masochist. I mean, APP does it, especially dude on a Friday. Listen, there's a lot of stocks that get really expensive on their contracts, but Friday, again, you getting borderline gambling there. But what's up, Color Blue? Yeah, I'm looking at ANF to try to go and break that floor. That's what I'd like to see right now. We're looking good hourly candle, lots of empty space. Stop loss 90.50. I need the earnings move though.
We talk about those.
Oh my god. IWM does look bearish, but again, we're still very much in range. So like right now, and I hope that people are avoiding. I mean, if you look at like the cues, like that's not really anything that we're obviously looking for the bigger move here, but this isn't nothing that we've seen this morning is crazy. You know what I mean? Like this is exactly what happens when you open up in a range like this, especially with IWM, bro. That shit is ugh. You're getting cooked right now? Why are you getting cooked? No, not you. Somebody on TikTok saying they're getting cooked. Yeah, I got out of UNH, man. I told you guys I was gonna take that on the break. I'm watching it. I still have an alert set, and I'm gonna take it if it goes for the break. But
He's fucking around, so don't like trying to take it early.
Amazon, it's trying. All right, now it's bet you have a better chance on Amazon of dropping underneath 217.50. Once you get 217.30, then you can start seeing that 216. So, Potter, I just want to say thank you. You're welcome, Dalton Hackathon. Hackathorn. Whoops, not hackathon. Sorry. English is my second language. All right, QQQ. Reaching back down to that 3-minute structure over here, or 3-minute box. All right, same thing that you had to fight for this morning. Got a range overhead. It's not really a box, no. It's more of a range. You got 2 off the top, but you only got 1 on the bottom, so I'm not really thinking of this as a box. Is QQQ done? For the day? I don't even think it really got started, but that's 3 rejections at the top. Empty space all the way down to 605. So, I mean, we could see a reversal off of this if you end up losing the same floors that you reclaimed. Step 1. And then, yeah, essentially back down underneath that. Right? So if this candle holds, 30-minute candle holds under 609.85 and loses the 608.86, I'd be aiming right here. No, I mean, most people shouldn't be trading this right now anyway. I mean, you want to take this trade when it breaks, the 6, or if you did try to take it, above 611, that's fine, but it's above 612 that we have the empty space to 615, 616 area. However, the Qs are pulling, I mean, they pull back fast like that and they're not able to lose anything. The human vacuum? That's an interesting name. The human vacuum. You should kiss wall. You know what? I'll punch you through the wall. How about that? Styrofoam wall. What would Netanyahu do? To this? Claim it's his and then say that you can't trade it anymore? I don't know. Yeah. United States begins military operations in Ecuador. What the fuck is going on? They don't even have anything to fucking fight us. Oh. How does rolling contracts work? You're just taking your profits and rolling it into a farther expiration. They're training with Ecuador? Well, that's what military operations, I guess, is another word for. Yeah. No, 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 no. Okay, so United States and Ecuador has launched a joint operations targeting drug trafficking and designated terrorist organization. The U.S. Southern Command announced joint operations with Ecuadorian forces against designated terrorist organizations. Okay, that's about it. They do. It's that thick, sticky stuff. There you go. Old news about Ecuador? What do you mean? That started today. Or started on the 3rd. Pretty fresh. All right, watch touch here at 6:07:77 on the cues. Again, I want to remind everybody, are we, if you're going short, right? If you're trying to play out a bigger move, right? On the 24-hour, we don't have that yet, right? We zoom out to the 24-hour, right? What are we looking at? So if you're trading in this, right? Expect there's definitely pockets of empty space. But I would maybe even had, that's not bad. 2-hour candle engulfing, 1-hour candle is about to engulf. If you lose that 607, then yeah, I would look at 604. Are we buying Ecuador? No. Yeah, I guess you could sue Kanye, right? For IW inputs, my first TP is going to be right around 257.50, but ultimately I'd like to see 256.99. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, this thing could really spill its guts here. We could see 255.50. I actually have a bunch of 255.50s for cheap. I'm playing light today until I get some confirmation. Nice color blue. Good job. Did Meta just? Oh, you're fine. Someone just said, "Did I?" Meta cost basis rejection. That's still wedged, dude. You need to lose more than that. You need to lose 660, 659. What's up, bro? That was fucking funny. That's funny. IWM is starting to spill here. On the grind. What happened to the Qs? They rejected the top at 6 12 28 24-hour candle open. Rejected that. The price again did open up underneath 609 period. So I think right now I don't want to call for a complete reversal here. Obviously with everything that we have underneath us, but if we are back down underneath 609, the implications of that are obviously way, way heavier. And that's where, I'm searching higher and lower time frame, and everything is telling me that 604 would be a logical target here. You have 605.50, but you have 604 flat, which would be the target to the downside on the Qs. No, I'm still out of the money on those. Yep, we did. Nope. That was one of the big things that kind of spooked me a little bit. And even at the top, I was like, and this is 3 rejections off the top. So if you're short on the Qs, I mean, I'll fucking get it. I have both on. All right, Qs are approaching that 3-minute floor. Rush straight to it. All right, it's the last straw. Straw's not holding. Nice pop. Stop. Ah, damn, Qs. There we go. IWM flushing here. Yep. 605.75. 604 as well. IWM first target hit. Q's approaching that 5-minute box here. Or dunk, actually. Dunked right into it. There's that 605.50. IWM doing what I want it to do. That's funny. Yeah, if Amazon loses its 215 floor, sure. I have no idea. Oh boy. It's tapping every target and responding. Boy, I hope nobody's chasing today. How hard is it to trade in range? That hard. IWM is a little bit better. I actually like IWM, I think, a little bit better just because of where it's at in its consolidation. Like you got bent over here. But that's the floor. Oh, yeah, TTD had OpenAI talks. Yeah, fuck that. I'm not chasing that. I mean, ultimately, guys, I'm keep it 100 with you. I'm shorting IWM and this might not be what you're trying to do. I'd like to see IWM lose its floor ultimately. However, we just fell really, really fast, and so we're going to need to keep the foot on the gas pedal here to get down to this open price of 256.96, which is where we could actually see that happen. And then I have that 255 target, right? Because I grabbed some 255s for the low ski, because that's the end of the empty space. Qs are more situated in range, so it's harder to. Those are going to be more difficult to trade. Um, yeah, I mean, you look at this one on the higher time frame, and you're trying to dig into all of this. So, for IWM, I swung these from yesterday and added some weeklies. So, risk is still on though. Oof, Visa. It's about to punch down through itself. Yeah, anything below your floor of 313, 313.55, and you got a target of 309 below you. Okay, IWM has empty space back up above, but everything's filled up here, so that's good. Three seconds left. That's enough to build up on. Watch for a reversal here. That's it right there. That wick right there is that's what usually will get you moving in the opposite direction for a retest here. So watch to see if we build. If we're unable to break or those candle closes, then no success on that candle. No, I like IWM better, but Qs are moving a little too quick. Bounce. Pop. There it is. Typical shit. touch. I'm hoping this hurries up. Anything back up above this right here, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it. Too much empty space, you're going to rip back up to two. Actually, I'm pretty sure you're going to hit 255.88, so. What are we listening to here? Tariff rate increases by 15% tomorrow. Yeah, I would just leave it alone. If we don't retest our floor and die, then I would just leave it alone. If you look at the Qs left all that empty space behind and then just went right back up, recovered its floor, punched over that 608, and it's now trying to get this floor that it lost. Once it does, it's going to go touch 610 again. So you guys remember what we talked about this morning about these ETFs opening up in range and being more difficult to trade. So know when to call it quits if it's not working or whatever you've taken is going the other way. IWM's still doing what it needs to do, but it just retested. But I'm looking at the Qs and wondering how much more. The ETFs are literally going to be the hard. I mean, that's what we said this morning. The ETFs are going to be the hardest or the most difficult to trade because there is no open out. I mean, you opened up underneath 610, which you might have just been able to use sellers to rip this one back up. So watch as we move towards the end of the day. But again, don't jump the gun because when you open up in range, right, in range on IWM, my risk is all, or I'm risk on. Right? Anytime we're in range, I'm risk on. You open up outside of the floor, risk off. But everything in here, ugh. But I'm going to keep trying, obviously, with low risk. I'm going to keep trying when I see these opportunities to go for those breaks. Okay, they're holding. No, I don't think so. Oof. You need Meta to pop right back over that 664.63. With your strategy with traders, should they get it on the floor? If you're bouncing it, I don't like shorting floors. I like opens outside of them. Or I like being up at the top, somewhere where sellers control the price. This is what I want out of today. If we are to dump, I want this pocket here. Staying out was the best decision ever. If Hefe says we're opening up in range, stay out if you're new. That's the message. And it also takes discipline to see, us or other people, exploring potential breaks and, big candles and stuff like that. But hopefully you guys, those of you who are new, keeping yourself safe here. Trust me, you'll know when I'm looking for a 24-hour break. Have I looked at Tesla today? Yeah, I did. I did. Nothing doing here, man. It's this is between what you need to break and what you need to lose. I also only see it one way. You know, at this point, with 3 big bounces off the floor, you might be able to change your luck, but I trade prop firm futures. Am I gay? I mean, it is possible. I don't know if that's the catalyst, but tap. Look at that shit. This is what you can fill. Above this, you get this. And if you get that, you get this. If you get this, you could see a full reversal. Do you have to trade it? No. Because where does it lead? To fucking nowhere. All right, what are you guys looking at here? Drop your request. We'll see if we can't see any individual equities, maybe. Oh my God. So get ready for a difficult trading area. You're in between 2 boxes, and this is where I refuse to trade at all. Yeah, this area between what you need to break and what you need to reclaim, you just wait for one or the other. Zebo, you really gonna post that right after I just told everybody that this is harder? Easy trading day for me because you trade on lower time frames and you have experience, right? Yeah, we'll span that guy. Span that guy. John, you're rich, dude. What are you asking me questions for, dude? 205, man. You're rich, dude. You got a beautiful bounce off of $200. That's, I mean, you can trim, secure some profit, but otherwise 205 is the 50% mark there. So, good God. Oh, man. That's got a good target of 48.92 here. And I tell you what, that's a lot of empty space right there. That's a pretty big rejection on the weekly. So I mean, right now the target is here, but anything underneath that, and you could be looking at. I might actually set an alert there just to see. Should I switch to options? You should explore them. With all due respect, it's brother John. You know what, brother? Yeah, options are great, but most people have serious issues with impulse control. And when I tell people, you know, again, this is not everybody, but when I tell people we're opening up in range or the 24-hour setup doesn't have anywhere that it can go until, you know, levels beyond that, people still whip out the weekly contracts. You know what I mean? And it's like that's going to, but if you're utilizing options on 24-hour setups that have empty space in front of them, whether that's up or down, you know, that's where you're going to maximize your dollar. And if you're using good risk, I mean, you don't even have to win that much. You don't even have to win that much. You just have to, again, hold to your targets. Yeah. Potter, I was talking to Saywin about not buying the dip. He said you think the same way. I do not just buy the dip. No. I buy when something has been recovered. Yeah, I do not buy the dip. That whole buy the dip thing, like, oh, it falls, I'm going to buy it. Like, how is that working here? You know what I mean? It has to be strategic, and that's something that people who don't believe that analysis is real will tell you that so that what if you don't have analysis, what else do you have? Guessing. So buy the dip. But if you have a system, yeah, I'm not gonna, you can catch me outside. How about that? Yo, what's up? Mm-hmm.
Trying to get out 5, 6 times you're trying to move out. It's failed.
Damn. Hold on 1 second. Apple is pushing back up, but fuck that. I'm not gonna trade that thing. Yeah, I have no interest in that at all. So real quick, and I'll get to that lift chart. Marvel doesn't have any. I mean, there's no analysis here. Every single candle opens up in range. So mark out the edge of your range at 76.50 and at 82.70. Now you don't have immediate empty space at all above you. So obviously, it is channel trading. That looks good. Potentially if this floor is lost, you could maybe go and meet another low, which would be slightly in confluence with a bounce level that you have coming off of this box. So, I mean, like, again, this is where I do not make predictions. I just react, right? And in this case, like with all of this overhead and no real boxes or clear targets, you're really just focusing because you would expect the only thing, and what is this? Oh, this has earnings. Pretty fast price action here on IWM. Watch that. Just met your floor perfectly, 258.60. Watch that next leg up. If you're on TikTok, by the way, you can see all of my screens if you go to YouTube. Yep. I'm not going to talk about that one until it just does. Just do it. No overanalyzing that. Kind of bogus today, and you called it from the start. Yep. I don't know. Maybe the better move is just to go back to bed from now on. All right, so let's look at lift here. And the first thing that I see, my friend, is 3 rejections off the top. All right, that's one of the first thing, or yeah, 3 rejections off the top. Um, so that's not great, right? Now, in terms of taking it long, that does verify to you that 1410 is where price can escape. So let's move down here. Okay. This is saving you or holding you from losing, right? Because you're sharing that box's floor with the rest of those, right? $13. So anything below $13, no. But right now, what you'd like to see, right, is preferably building and then bouncing, because this could set you up for a pretty crisp reversal. If you can find yourself a floor bounce, you would have that and that right there as 2 levels above you. So I mean, it if you keep sinking, obviously this is subject to change, but yeah. Well, again, we show, those of you guys who are, yeah, I did call for this to be this way, but it's, I'm not a genius or anything. And in my hell, I even still tried a couple of things, but the reality, is, for people who don't have that risk, right, or have the ability to risk, you are trying to maximize your dollar. And you might only show up 2 times a week. You might only show up, you might not even show up at all for a week if the ETFs are trash or opening up in range, and that is the plight of a new trader or somebody with low capital is they're just not going to be able to do it every day, because not every day is the market set up to run through a pocket of empty space, and that's just the reality of it. But if you focus on those, right, we've seen where you can flip a very small amount. I mean, that's my whole strategy, right? It's not like anything else that we're doing, like anything on IWM right now. Is that a box? Is, lower time frame? Yes, but are we look? Oh, it's all good. Did you miss lift? Yeah, actually, you could, if you want to go hop on YouTube, it's there. But I'll if I get a second here, I'll go back over it. So okay. If I wasn't broke, would you time me like you said you would? I like IWM's. Ooh, yeah, I did. Actually, hold on. Stop. Fuck. Somebody send me that Jorge gif or the picture of Jorge diving. I need that ASAP. Same thing I always do to him. Here it is. No, I need the background removed. Yeah, I am interested in Lily. Damn, boy, you gotta spend some money. You're so close. God, I wish you would have held those. Yeah, I was just looking at Lily. It does look like a break. I'm, candle closed, but I mean, it might end up flushing throughout the day. Okay, IWM still fighting in here. Maybe end of day we get some direction. NFPs tomorrow, so Jorge, look at that video, that link I just sent in live trading. Bro, this shit fucking kills me, dude. Yeah. And every day don't last when you broke. Believe in everything they say. What are they first name? My boss asked me how the market was doing earlier sarcastically. Not easily juggling. Oh, fuck, man. Are you in an office? Potter, opening up in range means exactly when we say opening in range, that means. KN, you're going to have to try that one more time with me, dude. Either I just had a stroke. Potter, opening up in range means what exactly? Okay, that was a question. When we say opening up in range, that means okay, so there's a question mark there. So an open up in range, right? Price opening up in range means that you are not opening outside of something that's holding you back or under or around anything. So you're literally, I mean, this would be a 24-hour candle opening in range in the previous day's range or in a previous area of range. So that candle range, that candle range, that candle range. And one of the ways that I avoid shitty trading days is I wait for those ranges to break or that tension. And this is why I mean, listen, I'm going to lose. I've already, I've scraped my knees a couple of times trading IWM, trying to get the break. And I've made some money off of it too, right? When it finally fucking laid down to one of my targets. But the reality is, right, that we're dealing with a massive, right, kind of unusual area of consolidation that I believe is going to break. And when it does, we're going to see a strong move. So, you know, there's going to be, you're probably going to see me do it again if we don't break range. But one way that I can tell that price is less likely to break its range is that if you open dead slap center in the middle of it. And what makes that such a difficult thing to trade, you're actually kind of seeing it now, is you have a floor to break on the 24 hour, which is tough, right? And you have a high to break, which if you didn't have the volume or the sentiment to gap outside of that range, what do you think that means? Does that make sense? And this is again when I'm if I couldn't afford to take riskier lower time frame trades, today would have been back to bed. Set your alerts, go to lower time frame. Like when going back to bed or going and doing something else doesn't mean that you're missing out. It just means you're waiting for what's important to break, right? You could start eyeballing things like, okay, we're starting to lose this floor right here. That's fire. But yeah, I mean, this again, even if we were to dump today to 256.97, that's a big ass floor, right? And price has repeatedly bounced off of that. Now, I believe that having bounced, right, popped, and then popped, I think that you have pulled the majority of the volume out of here. But part of me wants to short IWM all the way to 250 because I look at now what we have tapped. And again, this is where, forgive me, but I start to get a little look. I want you guys to just walk with me here. Check this out. I'm looking at the most recent price action. That's one small range. And you bounced off of it. So you lose this, right? The long, if we're, and this is also, again, saying that we're going into a bear market. And with all of this overhead pressure, right? It's hard not to feel that way. So, and those of you guys who have smaller accounts, right? That is where you want to see higher time frame breaks or bigger breaks. I mean, the weekly's just now getting started too. So I believe on the monthly, yeah. I mean, PayPal, sure. 3, 4, 24-hour candles just to get you through a small range. I would start looking at this as being encapsulated in here. So I mean, the point blank period, you got to get a stronger candle close outside of here, or you're susceptible to a potential reversal. So get to moving right now, or within the next couple of hours. You're going to want to stay above 47.30 and obviously build into that $48 break. So I don't see, I'm not interested in PayPal now. Snow. Damn, snow. Holy shit. Does that one have earnings coming up? No. Yep, classes tonight again. Potterbox workshop tonight again.
Hey Potter, I'm actually gonna finally get my PC today. Found a good one. Well, I guess a decent one.
If you got it off of Amazon or
So, like his online presence locally, and he does custom PCs. Um, and I pretty much after the research I was doing, it was kind of like the most important things for trading, right? Because me as a beginner, because I don't game, I don't do any gaming or anything like that. Just having a good CPU,
neither did I.
see staple right, of the main components.
Yeah.
So this one that I'm gonna get, it's an i7 with 48 gigs of RAM and 1 terabyte solid state drive, the NVMe whatever. Uh, for he's giving to me for 350, so I thought that was a pretty good deal.
Yeah, especially just running charged. Yeah, I wouldn't follow my Instagram though, personally. Dude, you know what's funny is I haven't even pulled them out of the box. I have like uh six, I guess there's three sets of RAM in them. I have like six boxes of three sets of RAM in a computer box that I haven't touched in 2 years. One of them got water at them. I threw it away. It was like last year. Little did I know I was buying gold bars. IWM new low. Now we're getting close. Wee wee. Um, right here, right now. Right here, 256.90. And then obviously, yes, 255.50 would be that second target, but this is going to be a tougher floor to lose right here in that 256 area. So Yeah, right. So we should expect price to bounce off of it, right? And if it doesn't, it's ripping fast down to it. So this is where you secure that profit if you got it. Obviously, I'm going to be holding this for a little bit longer, so
I just sold my $4.60.
not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad. Good job. All right, here's the green candle. Let's see if it does react. That's how we gauge price, right? If it stops here, right, or bounces, right, we're pulling volume off of it. If it's got empty space back up above it, then you got to retest right here. One of the biggest misconceptions from new traders is things are going to flush through things. Not 24-hour levels, chief. You're going to even if you did have a catalyst, you would still bounce momentarily off of that level. I think another settlement needs my help. No, my God. Second level coming in if you do lose this. So even if it's momentary, you're still going to respond. Now, Trump has a heart attack, and we'll be on our way, baby. I was kidding. I'm just joking. Just joking. Oh, there's the black vans. Ah, shit. I'm going out with a fight, dude. Trust me. I got a chicken potato launcher, dude. I'll send these chickens right through the car. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. You tapped it, but if you break it, you're going to go back up. All right. Hard realities. Being able to say, like, okay, this happens and this happens. Hopefully, you guys have been able to trim some of the risk off the table. So, this is your third, fourth time back around here. And massive reversals have come off of this level, right? And so, what do we want to see here, folks, today? We don't want to see this response, that response. And if we can keep price from doing that, right? If we can keep price under 258.34, then that downside becomes a real possibility. You know what made me really upset one day is I was having this is years ago, I was having a debate with my friend. We were talking about home invasions and stuff like that. And I was like, can't you just like set a bunch of traps like in your house? And they're like, nah, dude, they could sue you. And I'm like, excuse me? And he's like, yeah, if they like, you walk in, like, you got a paint can that comes down and like swings and hits him in the Ivy, hits him in the mouth, then they could sue you. I'm like, come the fuck on, dude. Are you serious? That shit broke my heart. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Uh huh. Oh my god. Hey, so you're saying, you're telling? Listen, listen. So you're telling me that this right here, if I hung this precariously above my door, if you're watching on TikTok, if I just had it hanging and then it went, sure, I would get sued. Yeah, but wait, if the trap removes him from our reality, can he sue? So you better make sure your traps work. All right, well then you got to set traps for them. I'm just kidding. Got it. Yeah. I mean, yeah, but I'm gonna be honest with you. If you just, I mean, I'm gonna be on. Where did I buy this axe? I bought this from a blacksmith guy, local dude. So, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. If somebody tries to break into my shit and fails and then is running away, I'm not gonna shoot them. Would I catch them, trip them, or one of those Australian ropes with the balls on it? Why did I buy the axe? That's a better question. Yeah. Yep. It's crazy, man. This live took a wild turn. Oh, dude, we talk about everything. Especially when we're just watching stuff, dude. Yeah, like we this, a, this is the most unorganized podcast. You'll never know what we're gonna talk about. Dude. The soundboards by themselves have, I mean, there's so much history behind these. So much. That's the best. Yeah, there's some on here that I don't know, like they're of me, and I don't even know if I've ever played them. Some of them I have. Like this one's crazy, dude, because they listen to this one. Had nothing to crazy. They clips the crate. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. That hey. Oh my god. New low on the IWM here. Better. I like that we're weak as shit, but I need more. No, you didn't, Zebo. No, you didn't. You didn't know shit. Huh? Is it alive? Oh fuck! There's a wasp in the house. Hold on. Trade, Peyton. It's on you. Somebody stop out for me. Ah! All right. Why you get the scarf? Tired of sympathizing with the enemy of America? Why you get rid of the scarf? I didn't get rid of the scarf. The scarf is right here. But you keep being a coward. Okay? Go back into your fucking hidey hole and pipe down, you un-American swine. Brother, DoorDash. What the fuck? Just DoorDash. That's fine. Did you guys hear me? Yeah, dude. What are you talking about, dude? It's they get to choose. It's a choice. I mean, if I could, yeah, but if I could get, yeah, but if I could cut off DoorDash, I would. If I could just like hire, I mean, just find a DoorDasher and you're my personal DoorDasher available between these hours. Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, because Peyton was trying to get me to. There's a big ass red wasp, and they everything just woke up. All the bugs outside woke up here, and so this big ass red wasp. It was in the garage last night, and she hands me a torch to kill it, and I'm like, the fuck? It's like on the ceiling in this precarious, right next to the garage door thing. And so I'm like, I swing at this fucker. He almost got me on my finger. Um, but then he just flies at me, like goes straight at me, and I don't fuck with red wasp. I like dived on the floor, and we jumped into the house, and he got in. But when I tried to slap him again, he went behind the fridge. So I thought I may have mortally wounded him. Potter Potter is the leader of Hezbollah. Nice. No, I'm not. Listen, if South Carolina was Israel, then yes, I probably would be. I think resistance is extremely American. And I know that most Americans would not let anybody on this earth come and take their land, biblical contract in hand or not. And if you want proof of that, I can send you that. I can send you hours and hours of videos of innocent, non-terrorist people having their house stolen on religious grounds. I don't know. I think that's the difference between like a patriot or somebody who's willing to defend, what's theirs. God damn it, my levels always slap. 250, 650, obviously slapped, but anything, and there is empty space. So there is, for those of you guys who are scalping, right? Here you go. 45 second, 257, right? And then it would be back up there. So that's how we come up with a plan, right? Or see what's going to happen in advance before it does. So over 257, we could look at two retests here and here. Why don't you go join the Iranian Revolutionary Guard? Well, I think that would probably start with me not being Iranian. I think the FBI would stop me. And also, why would I do that? That would not help. I would. Yeah. Oh my God. All right. The HOA is crazy. I'll see it as a waste of time, though, brother. You know what I mean? Bro, you're the Alatola. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I regret voting for Trump, man. I'm embarrassed. Well, that's one hell of a way. I mean, I can commend that for sure. I mean, Biden was embarrassing. He wasn't as crazy, But I mean, that was embarrassing, dude. Having that man as our president. Mumbly Joe, dude. I my I'm not gonna lie though. I swear to God, like when he would lose track of his sentences in the middle of that shit was so funny. Not funny, sad funny, but it was still like, damn, dude, they really are. They got to be forcing you to do this. Like, there's no way. Airfare sales here. Ivy sending us tickets to the Philippines. I wish Potter would open my Instagram DMs. Dude, I haven't checked a DM on Instagram. Hold on, let me check. Oh, damn. That was 7 hours ago. All right, let's see one. Traders selling ass. I hate that guy. There's no way that Noor Trades is ballsy enough to do that. Noor Trades was caught red-handed. I don't know if anybody ever saw this, but Noor Trades, there is empirical evidence that he was faking it all. But anyway, that is funny. That's pretty funny, though. I'll give him that. How it feels to know one word spell that makes. Oh my God, Ruben, Ruben, what the fuck? You sent me a bunch of memes, dude. Dude, you got to work better on your rage bait, bro. You got it. Listen, DM me after this, and I'll give you like maybe some things that get under my skin, so that you have better rage bait material next time. Because this is an embarrassment to all trolls. Also, this music is so chill. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy, bro. Ivy, you feeling any better? How we doing? I'm not trying to get you back, rush you back here, so you know you're good. But I just wanted to check in and see if you're okay. I know I'm the worst. Listen, my grandma called me 6 times yesterday. I'll send you guys the screenshot. And then no, I did the last one. I get scared, you know. No, I'm just kidding, bro. What happened to society? I remember the day you said shit and got punched in the mouth. You're talking about, I mean, as a societal thing, I mean, people definitely still punch people in the mouths. I bought this stepper, still couldn't go down the stairs, but I can walk. Hmm. A and F. If you can, all you want to do on A and F today is make sure you close down, uh, or you stay underneath this. As long as you can do that. And I mean, as far as boxes are concerned, right? You had a range here that you buttered through, and that's actually the median you're bouncing off of. So I'd say the next target is 84.10, right? 84, 83.72. And then, obviously that's a lot of empty space. So, oh, no. Potter, you should put a tiny toy Lambo behind you. I have a tiny toy Cybertruck, but I drew on it. Dude, this light in my eyes starts to hurt after a while. That's half the time I get off TikTok. But I also don't want to look like a douche and do that shit. Wear sunglasses on stream. Ugh. Yeah, I guess you're right. No, but I guess yeah. I don't know where sunglasses inside to me feels douchey. I feel like a douche just personally, even if nobody. Honestly, I'd rather rock the black eye. Ah, the polarizing glasses. There we go. Well, those are crooked as hell. Potter, do you yeah, that's a lot. Do I trade standing up? Yeah, standing up. I've traded upside down before. I have an inversion table, and I was watching the charts on my phone, hanging upside down. I took a trade upside down, dude. How many people could say they did that? I don't have that. I'm sorry. I don't really have a lot of, I don't really have an audience. Inverse fair value table. Yeah, something like that. Man, we're moving like molasses, folks. We might have found our floor, but their sellers are stepping up to try to drive price down. And if they can't get that floor broken, then no more. That empty space up above will get filled. Yeah, it's literally right here, 256.55. And then at that point, 255 in balance. But I mean, this is a pretty large level here. How's that 24-hour candle looking here? Are we red? Yeah, we're red. Oh boy. If I could, brother, just give me the news. I'm so interested in how we're going to close tonight. SPY is like IWM, right? No, IWM is just more affordable. Buyers still stepping up here. Ooh, too much empty space. Too much empty space. Need a cameraman. I mean, nah, nah. Can I give examples on SPY? Of what? SPY looks like it's about to pop up. Hell yeah. This looks like it's about to. So you just bounced right off of those candle closes, which is again why we focus on the candle closes. I mean, you could, I'd have to go down here though. Okay, so that's actually sellers trying to keep you down. Yep, there it is. So you're going to try to stay outside of that. Sellers are going to try and pull you back in, but you need a crossing over that 860.66. Yo, high stakes. That was funny. He said, I'll sell you E for $100. Yeah, but a response off of support, brother, is what I need to see. Right? So let's go ahead and draw the line in the sand, John. Nike goes back up above 58.40. Same place it goes up every single time, right? And that's where you could try to conquer that space back up above. Nike also looks pretty heavy. Let's see. So this is, yeah, I mean you're sitting, I mean this is a place where you definitely could bounce. But obviously we haven't seen that yet. Or well, here you go. 15 minute mother thoughts on the Fidelity app? I really can't tell you, man. Yeah, watch the calls back up to the or the pop back up to the upside here if IWM can break. What's up? Mm-hmm. So something like this on IWM, right? Even what's happening right now, it's a securing candle closes, right? Or try even if you do secure a candle close, you need to be able to hold that. And the faster that you come off of those levels with empty space back underneath you, that's when you get retest. That and the only way that those retest or those bounces see continuation is if they are able to secure price on a floor. And in fact, I would even say that if these two wicks here, you're able to secure that, but you're unable to secure the floor at 258.65. So gauging and retest are natural. Like even price moving back up, up here to retest this, if it grabs hold, right? If this candle, whatever candle comes out of this box, closes on that floor, right? Or builds in here and then closes on that floor, you're going to go up, right? And that's where you're looking for the structure up above or whatever lack of resistance that you have. And in this example, and even in this one, right, you had an immediate little range here, right? So even if that floor was secured, you could have been able to tell if continuation was going to occur if 258.87 was reclaimed. And reclaiming only happens when a price is accepted or closes on that floor. So you can even watch right now what happens, right? When price is accepted, when price is secured outside of that 257.17, right? You're going to reach for this floor. And when you reach for that floor at 257.50, if price taps it, pulls back, and then pushes right back up into that 257.47 and closes green against it or on top of it, you know it's not a retest. It's secured a level that sellers do not want or that buyers control. And if buyers control it, price will go up there. Right. Yes. So like even right here, right? Falling down, bouncing off of, I'm sure it's on, it might be 50% of the whole range, but bouncing and then your ability to actually accept price back up. I mean, and this is again the 45-second. Most of the time, we're only looking at fast price action in here. So like, the higher the time frame that structure forms, then that's where we want to see price get accepted. So like 3 minute time frame right here is clear across the board, 257 candle close outside of it, and you're looking for the floor up above you directly. So Potter, say that one more time. Yeah, yeah, essentially squeezing them out. So actually, here's a good example. Right now, yesterday you saw a candle pop up, and then today that candle holds, right? So you do have control of that floor. However, whatever's above you, first green candle to your left, you're unable to grab. And so we would be able to target NVIDIA, right? Or what's beyond in NVIDIA's empty space by getting a candle secured, first green candle to your left, by the way, which is always going to be the first target, which is why we look for spaces that don't have any green candles, obviously, until there's a decent amount. Yeah, in just a second, guys, I got to hop off. I got a couple of errands I have to run. I'm going to continue to hold IWM, probably set stop loss on this low risk position around 257.96. Right now, we're looking. It's looking like we're losing the floor on IWM. So it's time to start looking at what's to the left of you. This is the last straw here. Mm, if I trust it, unless that candle is accepted. They'll wick it down, just give it to you a little bit weakly, just like this, and then they'll spring that candle right back up in your face. And it can be even something like this, right? Like this is how detailed it gets. Like that right there, getting accepted, right, would let me know that we have that we're going to keep pushing. Watch it. See that? Now, if it breaks it and holds it, or even keeps price up in the face of it, then you're gonna probably reverse back up in that range. I mean, obviously, inside of a box, like what I'm using is small details, right? Because when I say the first green candle to my left, that's typically always going to be the floor that we lost. And if that's a floor that we were holding, then I can utilize that as something to grab hold of. And if it can grab hold of it, then there's continuation in there. And that's where, oftentimes I'll go into this lower time frame and I'll see, well, what's actually, in there. It looks like, a little bit of empty space, but mhm. Yep, that little tiny green candle at the bottom. That's what those are, those where they give sellers a little bit of what they want and then they pull it right back up in their face. And it's like, yeah, well, if that's the floor that you lost, you don't want to reclaim that or you're going to see that, right? And then if you move out here a little bit further to the 5, this is not control. So we're losing control right now. The only way is for sellers to use that average or those orders that sit here to sell to try to push that back down. But at this point, they're probably exhausted, and there's probably an upside play back up to that floor. Yeah, I'm about to run errands here, of course. Yeah, well, I'm gonna wait here just a second. So, don't maybe, oh, call me, don't call me no more. Oh boy, that's a strong level, huh? I mean, this is but wouldn't we? So this is what we expect, right? When we hit a floor like this, and this is what I was talking about last night. What I'm talking about, what I've been talking about all week. Every level's going to react, and especially when you're going, like, you have to get rid of whatever floor is holding you up. And so when you hit these floors, you're going to exercise those orders. So you're going to fill those buy orders. Um, and a lot of the times it's like, you're rinsing out or squeezing out all of the buyers, so that way you're making that floor that much weaker. And one thing that you could also look at as beneficial here is you're building structure, right? Which means that if price is popping, right, moving up, and we fail whatever retests that are back up above, that's something that you can come back down through. You're building a trigger, I guess, if you will. Yes, Plumber, I'm already in. Sticking toward and a smile. For the squad. Feels I'm good. I'm coming up in the battle. Is this a bearish setup? On a lower time frame, this would be leaning more bullish. Two tops. I mean, this is your third here at the top. You're not, sellers are not getting the job done. Hell, you just bounced off the top of that red candle, just like you wicked off of the bottom of that green one, right? So right now, buyers are trying to push this out. You're probably going to see them give it a little bit of effort here. All right, TikTok, I got to go. YouTube, I'll see you guys 2